Welcome to Purposeful Transitions. My name is Erica Bryan. The intention behind Purposeful Transitions is to bring a pause and cultivate awareness to the moments we can easily dismiss in our lives, which are the moments in between moments. I call this a transitional space. Over my 10 years in the medical field and as a yoga teacher, I have often seen all professionals rush into the next moments of their journey, bringing in the residue from their past experiences. Join me as we learn ways to enhance a deeper understanding of our transitions, allowing purposeful transitions to strengthen self-awareness, relationships, our own contributions, and tapping into the field of possibilities. Hello everyone, this is Erica. Welcome to Purposeful Transition. I hope you are all enjoying the dialogues and conversations this far. It's been such an exciting season in my life to connect with people, to see what they're doing in the community, as well as the growth they're expanding into within themselves. I also hope that it's inspiring you to then create the pause for yourself and seeing how you're contributing into your own experiences. For example, the relationships that you are choosing, the way that you are caring for yourselves, the opportunities that you are expanding into. I pray that it's all in alignment within your next becoming and what it is that you wish to explore on this journey. So as we come into our next podcast here, our next episode, let's find a comfortable position to embrace our breathing exercises, which is what I like to do at the beginning of each podcast. So wherever you are, I hope that you are safe and that you're creating this pause. If you're driving, please do not create this pause unless the vehicle is at a stop. And then the same goes with any type of machinery that you might be managing too. If it's calling for your attention, maybe save this podcast for later to embrace these breathing exercises. And the theme of today, we're talking about meditation. So if you are not able to really dive in and focus, maybe save it for later. So please make the best judgment here. As you come into a seated position, gently close your eyes and just breathing in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth, releasing a gentle sigh. A couple more times. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. And last one. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Shifting the breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. With every inhale, we allow the breath to become deeper and every exhale to be complete. Taking in these deeper breaths allows us to expand the lungs and rib cage a little more, which will then allow us to oxygenate the body to its full potential. This in turn helps to decrease the stress response and move us away from a state of constriction to a state of expansion. Very good. Now let's shift our breath back to our own rhythm of breathing and just allow it to be. Allow the eyes to float open. Take any movements that you desire and welcome back. But now with a different perception. The breath is expanded. We become more present when the breath is expanded. We're just more open to the details available to us. Suppose if we were shallow breathing, stressed, it can really provide us a narrow base of understanding of our experiences. So ensure that you are always breathing at that depth of breath. If not, create the pause along your journey, take some deep breaths, and dive in. So lately I've been asked a lot of what is meditation? Why do you do it? How can I do it? And I really wanted to share this in a deeper dialogue, because I know often I can easily rush into these topics and then bounce to my next job. So I'm hoping that this would provide everyone information on what is meditation, what are the benefits, what are the types, what's the history, who is it for, and how can you create a practice that's sustaining. So many people, just as I did, struggle with meditation or even just coming into the space. And the reason why we find this struggle or meet this struggle is because we don't really know what meditation is. We have this idea, this perception of what we think it might be. And so we're trying to force ourselves to create this perception or meet the manifestation to what we think it is. So let's go ahead and kind of just go into what is meditation. So meditation truly is a practice to expand into the state of being. That is it. Expanding in the state of being. In this state, there are no thoughts. There are no experiences. There is no activity when it comes to movement and reflection, any of that. It's really just expanding, relaxing into the state of being. In fact, for those that meditate, we call the space of nothingness, the space of true meditation is the gap. And in this gap, again, you're connected to nothing but everything at the same time in a way. You're not tied to a role or expectation or experience. You're just in the state of being. Now, if you start thinking that you're in the gap, or you start thinking like, okay, I've reached it, you have not, because that alone is a thought. So it's really just expanding in the state of being, which is the space in between your thoughts. And so often I get clients and patients that will say, how can I relax in this space? Because my mind is racing and I'm bombarded with thoughts. And it's true, it happens, especially those at the very beginning of their practice that they're establishing in meditation. Yes, the way the nervous system works is you're constantly taking in information. The lights, the sounds, the smells, how you feel, have you processed the experiences from the past, the traumas, how you felt. There is so much information that your nervous system is processing. Then alone, all the bodily functions as well. So with that said, in the beginning, there will be lots of thoughts. But this is why it's important to consistently practice meditation, because through the state of practicing, then you start to create a new neural pathway, a neural response, where your body then starts to adapt into the space of meditation. Then you start creating the space between your thoughts, and that's what we call the gap. But again, we're not aware of the gap. We're aware of when we come out of the gap and we realize like, oh, wow, what was that? That felt really good. Or I really felt like I was resting in that space. It was beautiful. I want to go back. And you just return back into that space. Now, there's many benefits to meditation. There's a decrease in the symptoms of anxiety, a decrease of the symptoms of stress. It can improve your mood. It can enhance your awareness. It can strengthen relationships with yourself as well as those around you. And the list goes on. There's a lot of great benefits to meditation. And so there are different types of meditation, and I like to call this the vehicles, because there are different vehicles, different types that will guide you deeper into meditation. Okay, so remember, meditation is a state of being. So if you think about it, these types, I don't even like calling them types of meditation, because it's not really meditating, because again, all these things I'm about to share with you are, in a way, an activity, right? So I like to call these the vehicles of your meditation, to drive you into that state of meditation, the state of being. So here are some types that are popular in my neck of the woods. We have primordial sound meditation, which is inspired by Deepak Chopra and David Simon. We have sound healing meditation, something that I get hired often for. I do a blend of my Aztec tradition into the traditional practice of sound. And it's a very soothing, inspiring practice where I play over 20 instruments, taking your body into a deeper state of meditation. But with the Aztec blend, I also incorporate teachings of the Mayans, as well as the significance of the day, and close it with a ceremony. Then there's intention meditation, where you have a specific intention that you really want to expand into. And so I guide you into an intentional practice where we become very detailed of what it is that we wish to become or we wish to experience. We let that go in our meditation, and then we learn to practice present moment awareness. There's imagery meditation. Imagery meditation is great for children, also great for adults, for those that have that overactive mind. Imagery meditation provides stories, reflections that allow you to let go of the stories you're experiencing in the moment and dive into something outside of that, to give your body a break from the hustle and bustle of life and the struggles of your own stories, and provide you something beautiful to experience outside of what you have come to know. Then there's breath meditation. This is becoming really popular right now, breathing as a form of meditation. So again, this is all a vehicle to allow you to settle into the state of being. So breath meditation, there are many different types of breath to guide you into that space. You can do a fast breath, you can do a slow breath. There are breaths where you're holding a certain position. So lots of different styles of breathing. Right before we dove into this dialogue, we did a cleansing breath and a diaphragmatic breath. So those were two examples of breathing that you just did, and some people will use those as a way to get into their practice of meditation. And then we have the most popular one, the transcendental meditation, also known as TM. Where you use a mantra similar to primordial sound, where you're using a mantra to guide you into the state of being. So what I like about these vehicles, these types, is that it's different for everyone. And even then, there's going to be different seasons that some of these practices will serve you, and then others that will not. We don't want to write them off completely, because maybe later on you might be experiencing a season where it does serve you. For example, the mantra meditation did not serve me in the beginning. It was too foreign. I struggled with the Sanskrit terms. So it didn't feel therapeutic to me. It felt like a chore, like that I had to really remember, and I was super judgmental and really struggled with that. But the sound healing, the imagery, the intention really drew me in, and even breath work. And I started to play with those practices, and now I absolutely love mantra-based meditations. Now that I understand Sanskrit a little more, the meaning behind it. But I have clients that do not like the mantra meditation and prefer to use the other vehicles of meditation. So now, what's the history? And, often I get asked, is meditation tied to any certain religion? For those that do practice who have religious practices, don't want to embrace anything that would go against their practice, their beliefs. So it's good to know. It's good to know the history of meditation, and really we go based off of the earliest records that were found. And we can pinpoint that the earliest records found came from the Hindu traditions of India in 1500 BCE. And then naturally there is some people that would argue that, there are Buddhist cultures, tradition too, where it was also, some records were also found there. So truly, we weren't born in that time, so we really don't really know. But the earliest records known to the natural philosopher or average philosopher says that the earliest records were from the Hindu traditions of India. But just go down the timeline. We know that it was India, then China, Japan, Greece, Europe, and it didn't really hit the Americas until the 18th century. In fact, the earliest piece of research was around 1936 that was published in America. So once it started to kind of go around, people were practicing it and started to see like, okay, there's something to this meditation. What is it? Let's publish something about it. So that was 1936. In 1950s is when TM became really popular in America. Again, TM is the Transcendental Meditation. And in the 2000s, there was actually medical application to meditation on cancer patients regarding the beneficial outcomes of reducing stress during their cancer treatments, and as well as their cancer experience. So now, who is meditation for? Meditation is really for everybody, at all ages, at all seasons of life. It is a great practice to have in your toolbox. And it's really something, again, that we want to be consistent with. We brush our teeth for oral hygiene, right? So meditation is good mental hygiene. So what can we do to have a regular practice, such as brushing your teeth, when it comes to the practice of meditation? How can we incorporate it that often? So in some traditions, we're taught that we should meditate twice a day for 30 minutes, once in the morning at sunrise and once in the evening at sunset. Now, I know for some of my clients, they're like, there's no way I'm going to be able to get that in to my busy schedule. So we do it by increments. We do it slowly, easing the mindset into the practice of meditation. I love starting kids out as early as 3 years old, and that's when my son started to meditate at 3 years old. It's a great practice for them. Now, the best type or vehicle of meditation is imagery meditation for this age. And you really want to base the vehicle of meditation that you use depending on the maturity level of the child, of course, and what they desire, what resonates with them. Maybe taking 10 breaths is their form of meditation. Maybe sharing a story, the imagery, is the vehicle of meditation that we use. Maybe it's intention. Maybe it's an affirmation. So definitely, get to know the child and what they like, and have them come up with the practice of meditation. With my son, and my daughter as well, she was a little older, of course, when she started meditating, because I didn't really get into this until my son was about 3 and she was almost close to 8. So what we would do is imagery meditation, where I would encourage them to go sit on a magic carpet. And on this magic carpet, it would slowly rise, and they were safe, and they were encouraged to explore their imagination. And they got to go wherever they wanted to go. So what did that look like? So they would tell me, and I would add to their story as we were moving together in this beautiful imagery practice. So they loved going to visit their grandmother in California and going to Disneyland. And so they're on this magic carpet and they're going wherever they desire. And we would always do this before bed. That way, whatever they were experiencing throughout the day, it was in a way dispelling, moving away from their thought process. They were able to create, be playful, connect, and right before bed. So it was a beautiful practice that they benefited from a lot. Also, adults, there's times where we just need a break, and having an imagery practice is a beautiful way of just resetting. But it's for everybody. Meditation is for everybody. I often get asked, but I pray. Is that the same thing? It's really not. So praying is a form of asking. You're asking what it is that you wish to pray about. But meditation is, again, the state of being. So it provides you this opportunity to listen. So prayer is asking, meditation is listening. And lastly, how do we practice it? How do we create a sustainable practice around meditation? Number one is to create the environment. Do you have a comfortable seat? A meditation seat. Or say you have a certain condition. I've had patients where they could not sit up because they have back conditions, spinal conditions, hip conditions, and sitting upright does not feel good for them. So maybe buying something that will support the conditions of your body to allow you to be comfortable in your meditation practice. So I have some that have purchased back jacks and love that. Some meditate in a recliner with a little bit being upright, but they're supported. Whatever you do, it's encouraged that you don't completely lay down flat, because that simulates sleeping, and you can easily fall asleep. However, I've had stroke patients where laying flat was the only way they could really meditate. So you just want to hover between the state of falling asleep and being awake, and just being aware of that space. And naturally, you will train yourself to find that space of meditation and differentiate between sleep time and your meditation time. We also want to then, once you find your environment, you have everything needed to support you, then come into a comfortable position, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and really create that invitation in your body to let go of everything that's no longer serving it and expand into the state of being. Have that vehicle of choice in mind. Which type of practice are you going to embrace while you are in the state of meditation or the practice of meditation, and then use that. And again, rest in the state of being. That's it. And that is your meditation. Well, we have come to the 23rd minute of our podcast. It was such an honor to guide you all through the dialogue of meditation and what it is. If you have questions, please reach out to me. If you are inspired to even ask more information about a certain topic you want me to talk about, again, feel free to share out, share. Reach out to me at erica@returntoyourself.org. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, whatever you need. I am here to help support those dialogues, those mindsets, and encourage us all to grow. Thank you so much. Until next time, everyone, be well. Immense gratitude to you all for tuning in today. It was a true honor to be here in this time and space with you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at erica@returntoyourself.org. I'm also on Instagram as Om Namaste. Don't forget to check out Pause, Shift, and Refresh, the 7 Arts of Establishing Harmonious Oneness, and my workbook, Becoming 2.3, allowing you to expand in the desires you wish to embrace. I wish you all a beautiful and vibrant day. Until next time, be well.